Welcome to the Wednesday weekly Team Prosperity meeting. Today, we're going to go into the final kind of conclusion of a marketing series that we started a number of weeks ago. And then starting next week, we'll go into something else, depending on if we want to go multi-series or if we just want to go week to week. So today is March 2nd. It's beginning to, come out of the winter time into springtime. I kind of picked this out because I wanted you guys to understand, as a business owner, you are responsible for planting, watering, taking care of this business until it grows to a point that doesn't need you anymore. If you're not there, if you're not watering it, if you're not taking care of it, it's going to die in the beginning. And then, we always talk about this. Sometimes you're doing a lot of work on the front side and it doesn't have as much results as when it starts to build up. And then you've got multiple income streams coming in from what you've done without the active presence in the business. So you have to build up to that. So you've got the two parts of the business, active and passive income. You need to be concentrating on, making sure that the immediate income is there to get you through the period of time to where you build that passive income. When you guys have partners coming in, you need to understand that there's some things that we use that make our lives easier. So GMass for those bulk emails, Lightshot for screen capture, whether you're in webinars, taking information, whether you're just grabbing a picture to recycle, whatever it is, screen capture tool is important. We use Lightshot. Sniply is a way to take an article, recycle that article with a call to action inside of that. What I also like about Sniply is they give you an opportunity for a long period of time to use the tool for free until you have X amount of views. By that point, it's extracting value and returning value to you. And then finally, mail track. If I'm sending out an email, I want to know that it was received. I want to know that it was open. And if it's an older email and it was reopened, well, guess what? It's reopened for a reason. And I can all of a sudden maybe add that person to my day to contact directly. So once again, mail track, Sniply, Lightshot, GMass, these are all going to make your life a lot easier for a producer as well as an agency builder. Also this week, there's a little bit of misconception and misunderstanding about what we mean by referrals. Yes, we want to get referrals from the clients that we've taken care of, we've educated, we've taken through the process, and they're doing well. At whatever point you decide, open up that conversation about referrals. But also, it doesn't have to be a full-blown client for there to be value recognized and for you to ask for referrals. And this is going to help you extract more value out of what you're doing on a daily basis. Let me give you an example. If I'm talking to somebody and maybe they appreciate what we're doing, maybe they've gone through an education meeting, whatever it is, but we decide either on their side, my side, both sides together, they don't really fit into the persona of who we normally help for one or more variable reasons. But if they appreciate what you're doing, they understand the value of what you're doing, ask for referrals early on. Even though that person is not going to become a client of yours, you've established value. They've recognized the value. Now it's time to ask for referrals. There's no better, easier conversation than a referral conversation. When somebody's referred you to somebody, now you have that common link that will get the conversation started. Also, this has come up time and time and time again. There's two ways that I think that you can really view your business. That's as an actual business and as a hobby. If you treat your business as a hobby, you're going to get paid in a hobby-like format. If you treat this like a real business, you're going to be able to create something that extracts real value and pays you real money. But if you don't get serious about your business, you don't get serious about your money, you're never going to have a serious business. You're never going to have serious money. And then you're setting the standard. You're leading either from an example of, what to do or what not to do to the people that come in to your organization and who have bought into your vision and who are counting on you to help them reach their personal goals. You also have to be systematic. And this is so important. If what you're doing can't be replicated, then you're in trouble on the agency build out side, because as it leaves your little sphere of influence and circle, there's going to be breaks. So we look to some program like Duke University. Coach K's retiring. However, they still have a recruiting system. They still have a playing system, a management system, an accountability system. So even though he's being removed, the system still goes on. That's ultimately what you want to set yourself up for at some future date, to back away and everything continues as is from that upfront time, energy, resources that you put into your business. Another thing that came up this week is you've got to cut down the no decisions. No decisions, when you cut those down, either, cutting those down in the beginning helps you with more decisions, helps you with more outcomes. But also once you learn how to, cut down on the no decisions, then you can start converting those no decisions to wins. And that really has a huge positive ripple effect on you as a producer, on the agency build out side. Once again, no decision in our business, it's kind of unacceptable because we lay out the fact that we need to make a decision based on the education, based on the reports. What do we want to do? So understand that no decision, once you start to cut those no decisions, it will help you create more outcomes. And then once you understand how to do that, converting those no decisions or a percentage of those to actually wins. You got to pick up the phone. And this is something that, you can email, you can send social media messages, you can text people, but you got to pick up, you got to have conversations with people. A lot of people are shying away from this in the business world. That gives you an opportunity, if a lot of people aren't doing it, to go in. And if you do it well, it will have a positive impact on your business and you can teach other people. There's no reason to fear the phone. You should look at the phone as an opportunity to build, whether that's a book of business or an actual business. It's an opportunity. So when you think of, what if or what can happen, don't think about the negative stuff. Think about the positive stuff that could possibly happen from the next phone call. You got to get on the phone, and that's the easiest way to overcome that stress, the anxiety, and the fear of the phone, is to actually get on and do it. And then you realize that whatever you were stressed out about or afraid of was really just nonsense. So we're in week 5 of the 12-week year. And once again, if you're not participating in the 12-week year, I just want to reiterate some of the key factors that the 12-week year teaches us. One of those is time blocking. So if you guys understand the value of time blocking and can implement that into yourself and your business and your agency growth, it will help people, because the day is just a series of rounds, right? And if you divide those up into hours, like you'll just see, or even smaller compartments, then you have to understand you got to win the round. And if you win enough rounds, you're going to win the day. One of the ways that you can win the day is by understanding the value of time blocking and understanding how much more you can actually get out of the day when you're actually prepared, when you're actually blocked off, and you have a schedule to follow. The 12-week year also teaches us, and this is so important, guys, the value of setting like a yearly goal is not really, you don't have the value of the time period now. You don't stress doing action now. What the 12-week year teaches us to do is that our hourly, action right here has a direct impact on the yearly results. So what we do today, what we do coming out of this meeting, what we do, at 3, 4, 5 p.m. today has a direct impact on our yearly results. So understand what you're doing today is creating either the outcome you want, or what you're not doing today is creating the outcome that you don't want. You have the most control over what you do and the things that you do during the day. And if we break this down, and if we really understand, don't just sit down and think that you're going to do something for 5, 6, 7 hours straight. You're not going to get the type of results that you're looking for, and you're going to feel like this becomes a grind. So break your day, like I said in this example, into hour measurements, hour rounds. And then you're going to measure on those rounds. Did I win the round? Did I lose the round? And it's far easier to improve both the short term as well as the long term when you measure on more immediate timeframes. And then once again, if I have a 30-minute deadline, if I have an hour deadline for goals, this creates intensity. Elon Musk had a quote or a meme that I saw. If you give yourself 30 days to clean your room, you're going to clean your room in 30 days. So set those upfront, close, continuous deadlines and either meet or don't meet those, and either build on that momentum or kind of reset. And then reward yourself. Like I said, if you're getting stuff done, create excitement for yourself. That's going to carry over to more of the day. So once again, the hour is really just trying to bring you to a point where you have attention, focus, you've got energy and intensity in the moment. and you're able to execute. So last week we talked about in the marketing series, being seen and being heard online, why that's important, the fine line that you walk. Facebook as a part of your marketing plan, positioning yourself for max exposure with least complications, why the recent changes at Facebook can be an opportunity for you, the 3-step process for posting, what that looks like, and understanding your audience online as a revolving door. Once again, all these are on Facebook group and the YouTube channel, and they have descriptions so that you can understand what was covered in that meeting. We've been talking about both traditional and digital marketing throughout the number of weeks, but really remember, in digital marketing, it's a 3-step process. You got to continue to build the audience, you got to engage the audience, and at the appropriate time in the appropriate place, you sell the appropriate part of your audience. So this week, we're going to go into kind of like the final conclusion to make sure you guys understand that whether it's this type of marketing or that type of marketing, we're all leading down the same route to the same plan. And we're also trying to create the same type of outcomes, no matter where that lead is created from. So traditional versus digital marketing. So when we talk about what we want to do, it's going to be a blend of both. And you can't, straddle one side of the fence and say, I'm only going to do digital marketing and ignore traditional, or vice versa. They both have a time and a place, and they both have an importance, but you have to understand the differences. So when you approach this, you can become like an integrated marketing strategy that takes both sides and capitalizes on them. So remember, traditional marketing is going to be more of, like a media fit versus digital marketing, where you have the opportunity to go in and more personalized, create filters, create target audiences, get the real-time analytics and tracking, versus on the traditional side, it's going to be more of a post-campaign measurement. But like I said, don't think that traditional marketing is dead and all we do is digital marketing. It's a good blend of both. And I think that you'll find the most successful people in a business like this understand that and implement that on a daily basis. So that traditional marketing of radio, newspapers, magazine, outdoor, think of, kind of old school marketing, whether it's direct mail, cold calling, visiting people at conferences and things. This is traditional marketing. You guys have an understanding of what that is. It has value if you know how to work it correctly, just like digital has value if you know how to work it correctly. You want to understand that no matter if you are using digital marketing, online marketing, or kind of the offline traditional direct marketing, whether it's a business centric or customer focused, that sweet spot remains the same. It's reaching somebody at the right time, at the right place to get the information over to them so that they will take a next action step. We've developed a next action step that I think is very easy. It's non-threatening, and it's easily convertible to what we're looking for on the backside. So understand the sweet spot, no matter what we're doing, traditional or digital, is reaching the person at the right time, the right place, with the right information to make sure they take that next action step, which is going from general interest to lead creation. When you are online, you have the opportunity to reach a more limited audience based on filters, based on target audiences, things like that, versus the traditional, which is more of a limited audience. So when you look at digital reaching out to a maximum amount of people inside filters, inside target audiences, versus the traditional, whoever's there at that place in that time, it's got a lower conversion rate versus digital marketing, traditional marketing does. But you have to understand that, the things that maybe used to be done in abundance, they're not done as much now. So they have even more effectiveness, a postcard going in the mail versus, 15 years ago. It has more relevance now because not as many people are doing it. So understand and think outside the box when you're thinking about your business. How do I get in front of the people? How do I fill up my pipeline? What's going to be the best approach for me? And then understand whether it's traditional or digital, the right place at the right time with the right message to the right person. All of this, is just a way to take what we call raw material and get that going through our digital factory. Once we take that raw material, that general interest, whether it's traditional and digital marketing, it's coming into our factory, and the appropriate parties from the first entry point, which is an opt-in, they create leads. So now we go from somebody having general interest, whether we're just throwing it out there traditionally or whether we're pinpointing digitally, and we're going from general interest to lead creation. And what that means for us is now we have a reason to contact the person, and now we have a reason, and really something to talk about, right? So this creates lead generation, and that creates the appointment funnel. We are looking for, in our business model, people to talk to. We know what we have, and we know what we can do with people. So by simply talking to people, creating appointments, educating people, we know that we get everything else out of the backside. We just need, as financial educators, as agents, enough people to talk to so that we're not A, overvaluing any particular lead, and B, we're creating enough outcomes so that we're not worried about, one particular outcome. We know that we're getting a percentage of outcomes in different A, B, C scenario, whatever it might be. But we know that we do enough of what we need to do, lead generation, having the book meetings, everything else is going to fall into line. So our job, I hope you guys understand, whether I'm sending out something like a postcard or whether I'm doing digital marketing, doesn't matter. Online, direct, traditional, digital, we are basically pushing traffic, increasing traffic to those opt-in pages so we can lead with value, gives us a position of power, create the lead, and then, like I said, enter into that digital factory, that pipeline where either the automation or our manual communication is going to take them through the rest to an outcome. Remember, you got different types of traffic. You got different reasons for that people are, interested in what we're doing, trying to communicate with you, grabbing guides, booking meetings, and all those different types of traffic are all going to create similar outcomes. It's going to be like an ABC scenario. So once you understand that different traffic's coming in, but the same type of outcomes are being created from all the traffic, it gets a little bit easier. Remember, we're all unique individuals. We have our own motivating factors, pain points. You have to understand that, yes, what we do is very similar and routine, but the people that we're speaking to are different. And you have to get to know them and make sure that you are identifying what they want and how you're going to help them get there with yourself and the products and services that we offer. This is a strategy checklist, like a social media strategy plan, but can also be used for traditional marketing. Remember, you have to have a target or objective for everything you do, whether it's sending a text, making a call, sending out a mailer, whatever it might be. What is your campaign objective? What are you trying to do? Is it lead generation? Is it opt-ins? What is exactly that you're trying to do? And then why does this matter? What does that mean to your ultimate business goal? Hey, if I get enough lead generation, if I get enough opt-ins, that's going to create the pipeline that I'm looking for. Then how do you measure success? Is it from the opt-ins? Is it from the book meetings? That's going to be up to you. There can be different conversion points, and you can measure those conversion points to see and make sure there's an even flow. What's your budget? What are you looking to spend? And then who is your target audience? How far down the funnel are they? Most of the time, what we're doing is trying to get them into the funnel as an opt-in. And then what's your ideal audience reach? And then what best platform? So like I said, whether it's Facebook or whether it's a postcard mailer, whether it's a flyer, whether it's a LinkedIn ad, you have to understand, where am I going to find my target audience? And then from that point, what am I going to say to them that makes sense to get them to take the next action step? When we market, whether it's traditional or digital marketing, you have to understand what is the end outcome that I'm looking for, and how do I reverse engineer that back to make sure I preemptively overcome and disqualify some of these people. We have expectations, whether it's a partner or a client coming in, we expect people to do certain things. If our expectations are too much for that person or they can't fulfill their obligations, we'd rather know on the front end than the back end. So help people understand, we expect that people find success working with us. And you can see that there's a lot of expectations up here. But if somebody can't fulfill their obligations, I'd rather know early on. And then on the other side, people are normally trying to figure out, well, why, wouldn't somebody be successful working with us? Why wouldn't somebody get to an endpoint that they mapped out? What would be the reason for failures? And sometimes understanding that in your marketing plan helps people understand, helps disqualify, but also helps them understand that, hey, if they have expectations and they've got an approval process and they've got reasons why people wouldn't be successful working with them, it helps them understand and kind of almost, either if they're not disqualifying themselves, pre-qualifying from what we do, what we understand, and what we expect. Subject lines matter. And this is so important, guys. If you're sending out an email with a dynamite, body that's got an awesome call to action that really makes sense, but your subject line sucks, it doesn't matter how great the body is, that it's not going to get open. So you have to split test, beta test certain stuff, what's getting open, what's not. And once again, when we're doing things like online marketing, email marketing, we have the analytics to show what works, what doesn't work. If a subject line is working, just continue to go with it until it doesn't work, until it becomes stale. But if it's not working, don't continue to do the same thing over and over and over again if it gets absolutely no results. And then understand when you're online, the psychological makeup of how people are going to read whatever it is that you post. If you put your most important factor, your call to action, or whatever it is that you think is most important about your post as the smallest type, well, you're doing yourself some damage in terms of the readability. You've got to get whatever is the most important out there so that you catch somebody from scrolling. Remember, a good picture and a good image and a good capture line, a good hook, this is all important online, but you have to understand where the eyes go at first and make sure you map out a strategy that coincides with that. People, when they're looking at things, no matter what type of marketing we're doing, you've got to come from an angle. What is your angle? An angle can't just be education. An angle has to be something that helps somebody understand why they would take the education, why they would meet with you. So is that just a big promise? Is that a big promise with a very specific claim, more detailed? Is that a first-person story of transformation? Whether that's you, or somebody else, whether that's a removal of pain or whether that's an actual client testimonial. Once again, the more that you do the business and the more that you help people, the more client testimonials you get, and the easier it is for you to build that rapport, trust, credibility when people are looking you up online, if they're seeing positive user-generated content about you, what you do, and how things are going for the people that have entered into relationships with you. Remember, the keys to success is very easy when you lay these out. And this is also something you have to think about when you're marketing. The keys to success, have to be thought about in the marketing plan, because, we are looking to take people and understand their goals, what they're trying to accomplish. And then from that point, we educate them on, why they would not be able to reach their goals or how they would be able to reach their goals. So they understand what to do and what not to do. And then we're able, to take them through a risk management assessment, through an analysis, and then create a strategic playbook that tells them exactly what they have to do to get to their end goals and end destination. And then this whole process also can be summed up in like a 1, 2, 3 design, because we create exact answers down to months, down to pennies. But it also, these exact answers, they work with different types of situations. These aren't bucket programs. These are data specific, personalized, reports, software, whatever it might be. And these are based on proven results. We're not just in the consulting business where we tell people, hey, this is what I would do if I were you, and back off. No, we've got data and we've got, clients to prove that what we do works, and it works in a very big way. Remember, people are out there and they've got questions. They're constantly thinking right now, especially when you enter in times of volatility, whether that be world events, stock markets, whatever that might be. They're thinking about, how do I improve my position? Or how do I get rid of the mortgage? Or how am I going to pay off this credit card debt? Whatever it is, they're constantly thinking about this stuff. So you have to understand, when you're placing yourself in front of them, they need to understand that, hey, those things that you're thinking about, we're also thinking about them for you. And we have very important information that can help you unlock and give you answers and solutions that help you understand how you're going to do whatever it is that you're thinking about. Real quick, one of the people that a lot of us, tend to work well with are small business owners. Why is that? Because we are small business owners. We are entrepreneurs. So we talk their language, but you also have to understand that in the marketplace, when you look at B2B, which is business to business, a lot of those people are having to get through gatekeepers or whole departments before they reach the right person who can help them or who is the decision maker. When you're B2C, business to client, and you're working with small business owners as your client, most of the time when you're contacting that small business owner, you are talking to the business owner. You're talking to the decision maker. So it's a lot easier in terms of direct communication, getting in front of the person you actually want to speak with. So what that means for you is that business owners want to be found, whether they own physical locations, whether they're real estate agents, it doesn't matter. People who do business, they want to be found online, which means that you have a great opportunity to get online and really find people that you connect with, find people in your core persona, reach out to them with the mindset that you want to help them. And then when you're leading with education, when they really understand that, hey, this person's really trying to help me, there's not much they're asking for on the front side. Guys, what we do on the front side, like I said, is very non-threatening, and you should be in a power position when you lead with value and education to get your pipeline filled up with book meetings. And that, the online directories as well, when you're looking for certain types of people, if they're in business for themselves, they probably want to be found. They probably have accurate contact information out there. Reach out to your core persona. Remember, you can't be everything to everyone. So who do I want to work with? Why do I want to work with them? What is the language that I'm using working with them? And what's that kind of step-by-step process that I'm taking them through? We have to think outside the box. And sometimes, I'm see agents not even thinking inside the box. And I found out this week that we've got agents giving away guides that haven't even ever really read or thumbed through the guide. Just a couple of things that I pulled out. When you're talking about marketing, whether that's raffling something off and requiring somebody to be like at a webinar in order to win the gift, if their numbers or name is called, or if you're working with charities. So for example, there's a lot of charities out there raising money for this, that, whatever it is that you think that you would want to get behind that charity, reach out to them, say, hey, I love your cause. This is what we do. I'd like to form some type of relationship where, and then explain to them, we offer education to homeowners with new mortgages that helps them understand how to eliminate that mortgage without changing their loan, lifestyle, or budget. But also understand that it's an educational meeting. There's nothing that person could buy, even if they wanted to in the first meeting, and then go into how they can help each other. So, hey, for every person, a homeowner that sits down and takes the education class with us, we'll give $10 to your charity. We'll give you $15 to your charity, whatever that might be. They're gaining money for their charity. You're paying $10, $15, whatever it is for a sit appointment. Pretty good deal, mutually beneficial relationship. That's networking, guys. That's finding value in placing yourself and propositioning yourself correctly in communication. New homeowners. There's tons of new homeowners out there that over the last 36 months have, bought a new home, upgraded to a new home, whatever it might be. Those people, that data is available. Homeowners is one of the core client personas we want to talk to. Guess what? If I'm 2 years into a 30-year mortgage, I'm probably thinking about, how am I going to pay this mortgage off early? Or how am I going to pay this mortgage payment for the next 28 years? So understand, when you are not giving somebody something, when you're helping them get rid of something they already have, once again, you're positioning yourself in a position of power in the conversation. Monthly newsletter. So if you guys are, piling up data of people you talked with, whether it's clients, prospects, partners, whatever it is, send out stuff monthly. It doesn't have to be anything that's direct advertisement. It can just be, whatever's on your mind, things that are in the news, financial tips, advice, whatever it might be. The last big retirement account I wrote this past week or so came from a monthly newsletter. One of my biggest partners in this business, who has a branch separate from me, came from a monthly newsletter. So understand that what you do on a continuous basis has value. And then accountant referrals, CPAs, accountants. Once again, if a dentist recommends a toothbrush, that dentist is in a position of power to recommend that toothbrush because He knows teeth, right? Well, same thing here, accountants, CPAs, when you can start talking to these type of people, form mutually beneficial relationships, that warm market referral and the ability for that accountant or CPA to monetize that referral, that's big. Once again, if the accountant or the CPA doesn't even know what you do, there is no possibility for joint venture, mutually beneficial relationship. You have to start talking to people about what you do and how you can bring value to their life. And then cell phone camera, whether you're out and you see a real estate sign, whether you see a business, whether you see a billboard, whatever it might be, snap a picture. Not only helps jog your memory, but if you send a picture over with a text, hey, I was at your business, or I was in front of a house that you were selling, or whatever it might be, you get a bigger response back. So understand, think outside the box, and then understand what I do on a daily basis is all about making sure people understand who I am, what business I'm in, why I'm in that business, and how I can help them. And then get more X dates. So once again, you can kind of take away the conversation in terms of, hey, this is what I do. I help people every single day with money and whatever it is that you're talking about, but I only want to help you when this is important to you. So understand the takeaway, the disqualifier, the fact that I'm not pressing the appointment can help you guys get more X dates in the future. And then your lost customers. So remember, generating a brand new prospect is a process. However, if you've got lost customers, touch base with them, figure out what's going on, ask them, make sure nothing was lost in translation when you talk to them, give them updates about what's been happening, and see, for example, if it's a prospect that didn't become your client and it's been a number of months, see how things are going on their own. I guarantee you, they're doing little to nothing on their own. Restart that conversation. And then Q&A website. So if you want to know what, for example, the American people, what's on their mind, what they're talking about, what answers they're getting back, look at these discussion forums like Reddit and Quora, and then you can start to understand, and if you go in there and start answering that stuff, can generate leads, or at least know how people are reacting or what people are thinking about in terms of on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. Just like time blocking, when you market, whether that's traditional, digital, a good mix of both, you want to map out a strategy. What is it I'm trying to accomplish? How am I going to take people through a marketing pipeline? How do I get the opt-ins? What exactly I'm trying to accomplish? And then on any given day, what am I trying to do for that marketing plan? Is it today I'm working on recruiting? Tomorrow I'm working on clients. Thursday I'm working on follow-ups. Whatever it is that you decide, map it out. Without a map, you're just kind of walking around in circles. And then this Saturday, you guys, we're going to do an internal training program after the WHAM group, which is usually 10 or 15 minutes. So right after that, we're going to go into some Go high-level app functionality. I don't think you guys quite understand the power of that app and what it can do for your business as far as like a central location where you house, communicate, and do the necessary things to build and manage a pipeline. So that's all we've got for this week, guys. Next week, like I said, we'll go into something besides marketing, and we'll decide if it's going to be week in, week out, or a continuous series.